Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch another very busy day. Um, that's just life, right? A lot of us have a lot of things going on, and I'm sure many of you are trying to deal with your garden harvest and maybe your canning, animals, different preps, your job, your family, all that kind of stuff. It's a busy time. And, you notice something, the busier we get, the more stuff we're doing, the less time we have to worry about what's going on in the world. The less time we have to worry about all the bad things happening. The less time we have to worry about all the bad things happening in our own life. I know this sounds insensitive to some people, but I stick by it. I've told people before, if you're down and out, you're depressed, you're feeling sorry for yourself, you think everything's bad is happening to you, and you're in the pits of despair, get out and do something good for someone else. Go volunteer somewhere, go help your neighbor, go do something good for someone else. And if you do that often enough, you'll quickly just kind of forget about how bad things are for you. You'll also see how bad things are for other people, and realize that maybe your bad stuff isn't as bad as you thought it was. We have to kind of keep ourselves busy. It's very easy to see all of this stuff going on in the world around us, in our neighborhoods, in our towns, in schools, in our churches, in our own families. It's easy to see all this stuff and get really down and just kind of almost to the point of giving up. Because it seems like it's a hopeless cause, right? That the world is just becoming so evil so fast that there's nothing we can do to stop it. In fact, it's getting so evil so fast that it's almost pointless, it seems, for us to try to even, do good anymore. And so if we spend too much time thinking about all this stuff, yeah, it's easy to get down and out. It's easy to get sad, depressed, lose hope. We have to keep busy. We have to stay busy doing the things that we need to do. I was always raised the idle mind, idle hands are the devil's workshop. And I believe that's true. I believe that, we need to stay busy till he comes. And whether that's your job, your family, your community, something that you're doing, we need to stay busy. We need to be productive. And that's really a big problem. I think that's what's happened today is we have so many conveniences. Everything is so easy. I don't care who wants to argue with me about it. The world is an easier place to live in, at least America is, than it's ever been before. And so we have a lot of time. You see adults playing games, child games, that's what they have so much time on their hands that they play these childish games. They're not busy doing things. I grew up, yes, and I'm older than many of you, but not as old as some. But I grew up where, you stayed busy. Your dad worked, and then he came home and he worked some more. Your mother was working, always around the house, doing things, fixing things, making things, creating things, raising children. And they stayed busy for the most part. And nowadays it doesn't take us long to cook a meal. It's not as hard to do things. And when things need to get done, you typically hire it out. And so people have a lot more time on their hands. They have more time on their hands to complain and to moan and groan about how bad the world is and how bad their existence is and how they're persecuted and all these horrible things, when in fact everyone in America has vastly more privileges and live at a much higher standard of living than any human has ever done in history, even kings and queens. And yet people want to spend all their time complaining, and then they fight, and then they get bored, and they get depressed, and they do drugs and alcohol and crimes. And, well, if people just stayed busy, there'd be a lot of problems solved. So that's the same thing with us. Maybe you're not off doing drugs and crimes and protesting that, that men can have babies or some ridiculous thing. But oftentimes folks like us, we just just kind of get down. You know, we lose direction, we lose motivation, we lose drive, and end up being a little depressed. And especially when you see what's going on and how bad things are, and you see that the morality in this country has just almost disappeared, and the greatness of this nation has completely gone, and all these things. So it's easy to get down. And I just want to encourage you to not do that. Going into this weekend, we don't know what it's going to hold. You know, weekends can always be crazy. In the news, things could happen. Half the world could be blown up by Monday. Who knows? Or, you know, a bunch of us have monkeypox and growing tails and, you know, fuzzy ears and stuff. But we need to not let these things get us down. We need to be focused on our goals, which is why I always am telling you to have goals and have a plan and figure out what you're going to do and what you need to do and stick with those plans. And then also put time into your family, into your home, into your community, and do good for others. Do good for others. It's a dying thing to go out there and spend some of your time doing for others. I believe it's a very godly thing to do, actually. And so if we do those things, then maybe spend less time worrying about how bad things are, how the world's falling apart. Maybe we can actually do some good. And if we can't do good, make great changes in this world or in our nation, at least it's possible for us to make great changes within our little area that we live in. And so I want to give you that encouragement to not be so down about things and not to be so worried, but also get out there and work hard. Get out there and do something. Whether it's doing something for yourself in your garden or on your property, or learning a skill, or you're doing something for others, your neighbor, someone down the street, or maybe you're doing something, you go and you volunteer at a nursing home or a soup kitchen or something like that. There are all sorts of places that you can volunteer at. There's all sorts of things and needs that need to be done. There may be elderly just in your community that are kind of shut in. They're lonely. Just stop by and sit down with them and have a cup of coffee or cup of tea or something, and just give them a little of your time. You'd be amazed what you'll do to them and what you'll learn from them. So, yeah, the world is falling apart, but we still have a job to do. We still have light to spread into the darkness. And I'm not talking some new age metaphysical garbage light. I'm talking about Jesus's light, the Yeshua's light, that light of the true word of the Most High. That's what we need to be spreading in this world. We need to be busy and working till he comes. And don't just find yourself sitting around worrying about what's going on and giving up and thinking that it's too late or it's too much. Do some good in your life, and certainly do some good in others, because I mean, that's a good prep, I think, is just spreading goodness into others, that kindness. I say all the time, I tell people here locally, kindness is contagious. Get out there and spread some kindness. You'd be surprised what might happen in your area if more and more people were kind to each other and went out and did some good. Folks, it's time to get our houses in order and to prepare ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.